Uh, Hello everyone, myself Sahil. I will be presenting you on our recent work of leveraging biomedical ontologies to boost the performance of BERT-based models for answering medical MCQs. Uh, Here is a outline for our today's talk. We'll be starting with the introduction, and we'll let you know about the evaluation dataset we are using for our model, which is MedMCQA dataset, the related works, the proposed approach for pre-training BERT, with their results, conclusions, and future work. So, what is ontology? It may be very obvious to the audience present here, but for general audience, I will let you know it is formal representation of knowledge that defines the concepts, relationships, and properties within a particular domain. So, there's a few components of ontologies: classes, which are concepts or categories within a domain; properties, which are relationship between classes; instances are individual within classes; axioms are logical statements that define relationships; and biomedical ontologies are formal representation of knowledge in medical domain. So here are some popular biomedical ontologies which I've mentioned, like gene ontology, human phenotype ontology, disease ontology, foundational model of anatomy ontology, and others. So we'll be using this listed 9 biomedical ontologies for our model going forward. And why we have specifically used this ontologies, we will get to know this shortly. And from this table, it is very obvious this ontologies are rich in subclass axioms. And also there are a lot of valuable annotation properties present in the form of synonyms and definitions. These three properties, subclass, synonyms, and definitions, we will be utilizing for training our model going forward. And using these properties, we are getting the foundational medical knowledge from biomedical ontologies, which contains structured concepts, relationships, and their synonyms and definitions as well. Whereas other corpus like PubMed abstracts and articles contain advanced research and results, assuming readers have foundational biomedical knowledge. So they do not explicitly mention fundamental knowledge, fundamental medical knowledge. So the models trained on them lack foundational knowledge. So this is a data set we will be using for evaluating our model, which is MedMCQA dataset. It is a large scale data set comprising of almost around 190,000 multiple choice questions. This data set is very challenging as it contains questions, MCQs questions, which are curated by medical experts for Indian post-graduation entrance exams, which is NEET post-graduation entrance exam and AIMS post-graduation entrance exam. So this data set is categorized based on the healthcare topics and medical subjects, which helped us to choose the 9 specific biomedical ontologies we mentioned earlier. And we also like to mention here, like the ground truth for the test set is not available publicly. So for the evaluation purposes, we'll be using validation data set from the MedMCQA data set. And to show the complexity of the questions in the data set, here are 2 examples shown here. Question 1 is like dentigerous cyst is likely to cause which neoplasia? So option is amyloblastoma. Option B is adenocarcinoma. Option C is fibrosarcoma. Option D is all of the above. The correct answer for the first question is A, which is amyloblastoma. And similarly for the second question, which is also very complex, which of the one of the following is a muscle splitting incision? The correct answer is phalangeal incision. This example shows the complexity of the questions in our data set, which makes it a challenging data set and test your fundamental medical knowledge. Talking about the previous work using ontologies, there are very limited ontology-based multiple choice question answering approaches. But related approaches for question answering have shown promising results in capturing domain-specific knowledge. So approaches proposed by Midun Lal and Kwan heavily relied on templates and were unable to answer complex questions. And their limitation was this template-based question approaches, and this restricts the flexibility of answering the questions for even for the complex questions also. Whereas BERT-based approaches have shown better understanding of medical terminologies and complex questions. Models like SciBERT, BioBERT, PubMedBERT have shown good results on answering medical MCQs, but they require big medical corpora for pre-training, like PubMed abstracts and articles, which they are pre-trained on. Also, the corpus they are trained on are missing foundational medical knowledge, as we mentioned earlier. So there is a need to connect domain-specific knowledge with the language models for better understanding of complex questions. So question arises how to connect organized biomedical ontology with the language models. So there has been limited work in integrating ontologies with neural networks for answering medical MCQs specifically. So all the related approaches like KLMO and KI-BERT have proven to improve the entity understanding and representation by infusing knowledge graphs in language models. But most of the previous approaches have attempted to change the original embedding layer of the model, increase the computational overhead, and they also requires you to have annotated data, which requires manual efforts. So counting them, these two as their main limitations. To overcome these limitations, we propose a pre-trained model on biomedical ontologies. So to train BERT on ontologies, we need to input we need the input format to be compatible with the BERT input. Thereby, we propose a onto-to-send system to generate sentences using the curated ontology. From the given biomedical ontology, we extract the class hierarchy and annotation properties using Sparkle queries. So the predefined templates are used to form the sentences based on the properties. And we got a huge medical corpora consisting of 20 million words. Like this is a not used medical set. This is a very small medical corpora consisting of 20 million words compared to other PubMed abstracts and other corpora. This is a system architecture, which is a very simple architecture for generating the sentences from ontologies. We can see the it extracts class hierarchy and annotation properties using the curated ontologies, and using predefined templates, we generate sentences out of these properties. By compiling the generated sentences, we got a medical ontology corpus. This corpus can be used for pre-training language models, not just BERT, other various models also, which contains foundational medical knowledge. So this is a template example we use in onto-to-send system. We used a single template for each of the three properties, subclass of synonym and definitions. So based on the property, we formed a sentence like, for example, Spawn syndrome class is related to neurodegenerative disease by subclass of exome. So we formed a sentence, Spawn syndrome is a neurodegenerative disease. Similarly, for synonyms, pterygium has synonyms for psi, and similarly for the definition as well. So now we see the comparison of the size of PubMed abstracts with the onto-to-send generated corpus. The generated corpus is just 0.7% of the size of the PubMed abstract, the pre-trained data which is used for training other biomedical BERT-based models. Now the question arises, will this tiny corpus generated with the foundational medical knowledge help language models answer complex medical MCQs present in the MedMCQ dataset? But before we move further, we will see about the pre-trained language models. So BERT, which is a bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, is a pre-trained language model designed for various NLP tasks. It's pre-trained on a large corpus text to learn contextualized word representations. The architecture is based on the transformer model, which includes self-attention mechanisms to capture relationships between words and inner sentences. So now we'll see pre-training BERT on our tiny medical corpus from biomedical ontologies generated by the Onto2N system. The key concept behind BERT's pre-training is MLM, which is masked language modeling. So we'll be focusing only on MLM for pre-training our BERT model. It will help us enhance models understanding of medical terminologies, and it will also help us inject ontology concepts and relationship and properties in our model. So this is a vanilla BERT MLM model, which is used for like the standard MLM model, BERT model, which is used everywhere. So for pre-training our model, we use this vanilla BERT MLM model without modifying any layer. During MLM, a certain percentage of words in a sentence are randomly selected and masked. These are replaced with a mask token. The model's task is to predict these masked words based on the surrounding context. This helps the BERT learn bidirectional contextualized understanding. Also, uh, there is the CLS token represents the starting of the sentence. And after this, BERT comprises of multiple transformer encoder relays inside a BERT model, which each layer contains self-attention mechanism and feed forward neural networks. The self-attention layer, certain self-attention mechanism allow the model to weigh the importance of different words in a context of each other. The feed forward network helps capture the complex interactions between them. And on the top of the transformer stack, there's a MLM head. This is a neural network layer that takes the representation from the last encoder layer and predict the masked word. The model learns to reconstruct the original word from the masked portions by understanding the surrounding context. So we call the resulting model as BioOntoBERT model, which is pre-trained on biomedical ontologies. BioOntoBERT can be fine-tuned on various MNLP tasks like question answering, text classification, and named entity recognition, and many more. This is a fine-tuning fine-tuning of our BioOntoBERT on MCQ task for a MedMCQA data set. So here, each option is concatenated with question. Each option is concatenated with each question and feed it to the BioOntoBERT model. So here CLS represents the starting of the token, and separated token separates the question option concatenation from each other. And the embeddings are then processed through the layers of the transformer architecture, as mentioned earlier, capturing the contextualized information from the question and answer options. During fine-tuning, task-specific layers are added on the top of the pre-trained BERT architecture. These layers are responsible for performing the specific task for multiple choice question answering. Next layer helps the aggregated representation to probability distribution over the answer options. The output of classification layer represents the model's confidence scores for each answer option. So as seen in the diagram, the software Lex gives the option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4 as P1, P2, P3, P4. So during the training, the correct answer options index is provided as a target label. The model's prediction are compared to true label to compute the loss using cross entropy loss. After training, the fine-tuned model is evaluated on validation set of the MedMCQ dataset. For each question, the answer option is with the highest probability is selected as the model's final answer. So by fine-tuning BERT using this approach, the model learns to understand the relationship between question and answer options and make informed choices as a predicted output and learn. So the result on the MedMCQA validation dataset here are like BERT gives an accuracy of 35% on the validation set, whereas BioBERT gives 38%, SciBERT gives 39%, PubMedBERT gives 40%, and BioOntoBERT, which is our model, gives 42.72%. Our model have a significant improvement over the BERT, baseline BERT, and have a marginal improvement over PubMedBERT and other pre-trained models. But here we see that the improvement are just with the 158 MB of pre-training data. This is just 0.7% of the pre-training data used to pre-train PubMedBERT. So it shows how significantly we are reducing the computational cost for pre-training our model compared to PubMedBERT and other SciBERT and BioBERT. So there's some observation in our model, like on the following question, which is a very complex question from pathology subject of the MedMCQA. So BERT and PubMedBERT gave answer. This question was mentioned earlier. So this PubMedBERT and BERT gave answer as B, which we know is an incorrect answer. Whereas we observed that our BioOntoBERT gives an answer as A, which is correct. And so the BERT, we see BERT as a black box thing, but we see some observation in the comparative analysis, like option A, amyloblastoma, adenocarcinoma, option C, fibrosarcoma, they all are present in the disease ontology, which is part of our pre-training data. And neoplasia, which is part of a question keyword, and this keyword is also present in the disease ontology. Whereas dentigrous cyst is not present in the, this is not directly present in our ontology or pre-training data ontologies. But it is a type of odontogenic cyst. Odontogenic cyst and odontogenic epithelium are closely related, and odontogenic epithelium is present in the disease ontology. So from here, we can just intuitively say that the bird might have learned from somewhere and had inferred this answer that dentigrous cyst. So this observation shows BioOntoBERT's advantage in utilizing domain-specific knowledge. And so we'll conclude here. We propose ontology system which generates ontology based on sentences, making use of 9 biomedical ontologies of size 158 MB, which is very small. But the importance of this foundational medical knowledge is shown by our BioOntoBERT, which is pre-trained on the sentences. And the model outperforms the baseline BERT models and models like PubMedBERT and MedMCQA dataset, while significantly reducing the computational cost. But this intuition, we can say that with this intuition, we can say that foundational medical knowledge from biomedical ontologies lead to improved performance in BERT-based models. So in the future work, we can look for incorporating additional biomedical ontologies with the help of medical domain experts. Also, we can integrate more properties and explore different fine-tuning approaches for further improvements. Also, proposed approach is very simple and can be extended to other domains as well. Thank you.